I wouldn't say we're obsessed with royalty.
Really? I heard you elected a king.
Hello, my darlings. Welcome back to Meghan and Harry Tales, the only channel where we serve hot royal tea with a side of logic, a sprinkle of shade, and a full platter of receipts. And today? Oh, today. The royalists, the tabloids, and the entire right-wing outrage machine are screaming, crying, throwing up, hyperventilating into paper bags because Prince Harry, yes, the Prince Harry, had the audacity to make a joke, a skit, a cute little Christmas Hallmark spoof on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. And the meltdown that followed? Baby, grab a snack. We're going in. So here's what actually happened. Harry pops up on The Late Show. Without warning to the Windsors, without warning to the Royal Rota, and without warning to the British press. You could practically hear the panic alarms going off across Fleet Street, because the UK press wasn't included. Because they didn't get a briefing, because Harry said, actually, I'll speak when I want, where I want, and to whom I want. And the right-wing press reacted like he'd just detonated a nuclear device in Westminster. When, in reality, he did a cute, harmless Hallmark parody, a little Christmas sparkle, a little acting, a little charm. And he made one joke, one about Americans electing a king. Harmless, funny, true. But to the British press, this was the apocalypse. Across the Atlantic, the British press erupted in a frenzy that seemed almost ritualistic. Newsrooms buzzed with anticipation, phones rang off the hook, and editors barked orders as the story of the moment took centre stage. The air was thick with urgency, as if the fate of the nation itself hung in the balance. Headlines screamed of disgrace and betrayal, splashed in bold type across every newsstand. The words were chosen for maximum impact, designed to shock, provoke, and sell. Each headline seemed to outdo the last, competing for the most dramatic phrasing. Commentators decried the skit as an insult to the monarchy and the nation, their voices rising with indignation. On television, panellists debated the supposed affront, their faces grave, their tones severe, as if a sacred line had been crossed. The joke was twisted into a supposed attack on tradition, with columnists penning outraged editorials. What began as satire was reframed as a threat to the very fabric of British identity, fueling a narrative of crisis. The outrage was loud, relentless, and in many ways manufactured. It echoed through the streets and across airwaves, amplified by every retweet and headline. The cycle of indignation fed itself, growing larger with each passing hour. The tabloids thrive on royal drama, feeding a narrative of a wayward prince. Every story, every rumour, every photograph became another piece of the puzzle, another reason to keep the presses running and the public hooked. Every gesture was dissected, every word weaponized. Analysts pored over footage, searching for hidden meanings, while pundits speculated endlessly about motives and consequences. The smallest detail was magnified, the simplest joke transformed into scandal. The skit became evidence in a case already decided by public opinion. It was presented as proof of disrespect, a symbol of everything the tabloids claimed was wrong with the modern royal family. The uproar was less about Harry's actions and more about defending territory, about the press asserting its power to shape the narrative, to draw boundaries around what is and isn't acceptable. The real story was not the skit itself, but outrage as a tool, carefully crafted, strategically deployed, and endlessly recycled. Imagine two tribes on opposite sides of a river. One reveres a shiny stone, the other barely notices it. When a member of the first tribe tosses a stone, the second shrugs, but the first is outraged. That's the dynamic here. In America, the monarchy is a curiosity. A prince's joke is just entertainment. In Britain, it's a matter of identity and pride. The outrage is real, rooted in cultural anxiety. But the lack of global concern reveals its insularity. If half the world isn't offended, is the offence truly grave? The real issue isn't the joke, it's Harry's freedom. He left the royal fold, chose happiness over duty, and that unsettles many. For an institution built on tradition, his independence is a challenge. His joy is a reminder that life outside the palace can thrive. The anger is about control, not monarchy. Calls for punishment are attempts to reassert dominance. In nature, when one leaves the pack reacts aggressively. Harry's freedom exposes the cage others remain in. The outrage is a projection of their own anxieties. Critics demand Harry be stripped of his titles. But this isn't about fairness, it's about inflicting a wound. His titles are why they care. Removing them won't erase his story. The demand is emotional, not logical. It reveals how much value is placed on status. Harry's identity is more than a title. He's a husband, father, advocate. If he were irrelevant, they'd ignore him. Their obsession only affirms his enduring connection to the monarchy. The paradox: the more they protest, the more they prove his significance. What can we learn from this episode? Instead of joining the outrage, let's step back and laugh gently. Harry's story is about agency, the right to choose one's path. His journey is a testament to the courage of living authentically. Outrage is everywhere, but we can choose empathy and perspective. Let the noise fade. What matters is a life lived with joy and meaning. Here's the truth, my darlings. The royalists aren't mad because Harry made a joke. They're mad because Harry is free, thriving, beloved, funny, charming, and unpredictable. They can't script him. They can't control him. They can't silence him. They can't use him to distract from their scandals. And that is why they're melting down. Harry has peace. Harry has joy. Harry has agency. And that's the one thing the monarchy never wanted him to have.